Obviously, starting off 2-4 and looking as bad and confused as we have on offense has kind of made us stray away from the original thought that this was just a rebuilding, retooling, and learning process. But my question now, after 6 weeks, is what the heck are we actually learning? What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and this is Philly Philly the podcast. So today I want to talk about basically this team and how I'm starting to feel like this is a wasted season. Now, before we get into that, please do hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We're on the road to 3K. We would love for you guys to join that ride. Now, let me get right into it, man. Before this season started, you can go back to the off-season videos that I made. I knew that this was not going to be the greatest of years. I knew we weren't going to be the best of teams. I continuously said we would be between 6 wins and 9 wins. Everybody was calling me, pessimistic, saying I had no faith in our team. What do you see? You got to have faith in these guys. We got a young squad. Whatever. I knew that we were going to be, building. I knew we were trying to figure out who the young core of this team is. But at the same time, I felt that you could be competitive. I felt that you can go out there and put a game plan together to put these young guys in the best position. Now, I don't feel like we've done that. If you look at these games, outside of the first game, obviously, it's been a lot of just mishmash of what this team is. Even the Carolina Panthers game wasn't a pretty win. I mean, a win is a win, but it was not a pretty win. We really have not had a good 4 quarters of football from both sides outside of the Atlanta game. And even in the Atlanta game, you can look at that and kind of scratch your head at even how we won so handedly because we made so many mistakes. I just felt like they made more. So you look at this team and you start wondering to yourself, what have you learned? I've been on record saying that I think that this offensive line is ready for the future. I think that we're ready to move on from Lane Johnson. We're ready to move on from Brandon Brooks. We're ready to move on from Jason Kelsey. Now, I'm not saying the guys that are backing them up are going to be exactly them, especially off the bat. It'll take some time, but I think that we have the building blocks on this offensive line. I think that we have good young wide receivers. I know that a lot of people are down on Jalen Reagor, but if Jalen Reagor ends up your number 3, which it looks like he might be, looking at Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins, I don't think Jalen Reagor is the worst number 3 in the world. And if you go ahead and spend an asset on a wide receiver next year in either the draft or in free agency or via a trade, whatever it may be, you even strengthen that up even more. Now, the one thing that I'm a little bit worried about is our run game. We have had the propensity to draft good running backs, but at the same time, we have not utilized them properly. We can even go back to Brian Westbrook. Brian Westbrook was big, mainly a pass catcher. He didn't get the ball 25, 30 times. You can argue that he wasn't really built for that, but we didn't run the ball like that even then. You look at LaShawn McCoy. There was a lot of games. There was full seasons where we were looking at Andy Reid like, why aren't you running the ball? Doug Peterson, the same outside of 2017. And now we're seeing the same thing, a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more of an aggressive, just ignorance of the run, I guess is the best way I can put it. But, this is nothing new. This is something that we've continued to do. So it's looking like, in my opinion, that they don't want Miles Sanders here, which, look, I like Miles Sanders, but that's fine. If you don't think he's the future, you like Kenneth Gainwell, you think you can get somebody cheap, a rookie for a low cost. I get that. I get you not wanting to pay, a running back premium top dollar, which, I wouldn't say Miles Sanders is going to sit here and ask for the most money in the world, but I can see you not trying to give out a second contract. Okay. But if that's the thought process, why not use him? Why not utilize him and run, I hate to use this term, but run him to the ground. If you have no intentions of bringing him back, utilize him. Help your quarterback by using a running back that you have no plans of bringing back that has talent. And at the end of the day, if you used him these first 6 weeks, if you, again, had no plans of retaining him, you could have boosted his trade value. Right now, what is Miles Sanders' trade value? We know as fans, we know, even I'm sure a lot of franchises, a lot of reporters, they all see the talent that Miles Sanders has, but the lack of utilization is going to scare some teams, and not just scare some teams, it's going to give them leverage. It's going to give them leverage to say, well, you don't use him anyway, so why am I going to give you a top pick when you're not even using him? So in that, I feel like we're wasting him. But you look at the quarterback situation, and I've been very, very critical of Jalen Hurts, and I know a lot of you guys don't like it, but you look at this quarterback situation, and we're wasting this year with him. We're wasting this year with him. If your thought process going into this season was, let's throw the ball every down just to see what Jalen Hurts has, that is the most idiotic plan I've ever heard. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's their plan. I'm not one to put on the tinfoil hat and say, oh, they're just, trying to not use Miles so they get a better deal with him. They're trying to do this so that they can get a better deal here. I don't see it. I think that they're literally making dumb decisions. If your thought process is, let's go out there and put this young quarterback in the worst positions to see how he reacts, congratulations, you're doing it. And if that's what they were trying to do, I guess he's answering the bell, right? He hasn't given up. He goes out there every week and he at least tries. He's putting in the work. There's things that obviously I would love to see him improve upon, but I mean, what do you really expect at this point from this whole team? Not even just from Jalen, not even just from this offense, from this whole team. What do you really expect? This defense, you look at the defensive line, they literally gave no type of concern to the linebacking core, and now it's affecting our defensive line. I understand pass rush is mainly them, but you don't even have linebackers that can rush the passer. You don't even have help in that area. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking at the running game, when you're looking at this defensive line, they have to run sideline to sideline so that they can be a part of the run game, when realistically, those linebackers should be filling up those gaps. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to feel like this was just a wasted season. I feel like you don't know anything outside of the wide receivers and the offensive line. We don't, Josh Sweat, I mean, he's done all right. You know what I'm saying? He's done all right, but nothing crazy special. Derek Barnett is still doing, boneheaded plays. Fletcher Cox is Fletcher Cox, but he seems like he's, getting towards that age where it might be time for him to start looking at his replacement. Javon Hargrave is a huge upgrade to whatever we had before that. We're still paying Malik Jackson. We're still paying him next year, too. So, obviously he's a huge upgrade to what Malik Jackson brought here, but outside of that, what do we have? We have two old cornerbacks. We have an older, safety in Rodney McLeod. What do we have? What do we have to look forward to next season? And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm really seriously asking this question. What is it that the Philadelphia Eagles can hang their hat on after this season? Jalen Hurts has looked up and down, but we can all agree that it's very hard to judge a quarterback when you're thrown into a terrible system like that. And it's really hard to judge a coach when realistically, I don't think he has any real type of pull. I don't think he really has any type of say in what's going on in this offense. And that might sound like, then why is he our coach? But that's because we have Howie as our GM. So I'm really getting nervous that we're not learning anything. We're not learning anything. And I said that this offseason. I said in the offseason that my biggest fear was, God forbid that Jalen Hurts got hurt and we weren't able to really, see what he has. But on the other end was that we just don't learn anything about this team, that we're the same exact team as we were last year, which we basically are. We basically are. Outside of, some numbers that Jalen Hurts has had that looks really good, we are the same team. We do not look good. We are getting manhandled in most games, and we're putting on some points in the fourth quarter. That's what we did last year, every game. That's the same thing we did last year. Sometimes we would win, sometimes we wouldn't. Most of the times we wouldn't. But this is literally the same path that we went down last year, and it makes me nervous because I feel like the Eagles fans, that's all we had. We had the learning process. We had the learning curve. We could have went back at the end of this year and said, all right, well, we know that Jalen Hurts is or isn't that guy for sure. We know that. We could have went back and said, we're definitely going to re-sign Miles, and now we got Kenny Gainwell. We know we got a good running team. We could have said, there's so many different things that we could have said going at Davian Taylor. I feel like he's a good player, but they're not giving him the chances. So it's like, will we know if he's good by the end of the year? So I don't know. I don't want to say that the year's over. I don't want to say that, this is it, fire everybody, start all over, bury the hatch. But what I am saying is we got to start learning pretty soon. So, Nick, you got to start changing some stuff out. Maybe I shouldn't talk to Nick. Howie and Lurie, you guys got to start changing some stuff up about this offensive scheme. Start trying some different things. Even if it doesn't work, see what you can and cannot do. We realize that we can throw screens. We can do that. We can do that. Jalen Hurts isn't the greatest at RPOs. We're realizing this. You know what I'm saying? We can run the ball. We've seen that later in most of these games, which that's a whole nother story. I don't know why you're waiting till the fourth quarter when you're down by 3 scores to start running the ball. But hey, it is what it is. So it's like, do different things, try different things, switch it up. We've seen when, we've done the motions against teams like the San Francisco 49ers, against teams like the Panthers. We were able to eat off of that against the Kansas City Chiefs. Offensively, we were able to eat off of that. And I feel like the defense has beaten who they're supposed to beat. The defense, the defense has stopped who they're supposed to stop. They've played well against good teams outside of the Kansas City game, and I guess you can say Dallas, even though I still think the Dallas game really wasn't on the defense. I really do think that it was on the offense. I know that they gave up like 40 points, but realistically, when you're on the field that much, I mean, it is what it is, especially against a team like the Dallas Cowboys, who have the top offense in the league. You had them on the field for almost like 40 minutes. So I find it hard to really put that on the defense, but I digress. I feel like there's been times that you've seen things work and then you abandon it. And that sounds familiar. We go back to last year when Doug Peterson would get a nice little 15-yard run and then not run the ball for the rest of the half. So it's like, I don't know if it's legitimately the front office saying, listen, we don't want to run, stop running it. I don't know if we're just continuously getting coaches who are allergic to the run. I just don't get it. I mean, look, Andy Reid doesn't like running, but even he runs it like 18 to 20 times. So I really don't get what the disconnect is here. I really don't. I mean, we can all see it, from reporters to fans to, people that don't even barely watch games can see that we're not running the ball and it's affecting us. So I'm not sure what it is, but I do feel like this is becoming a waste of a season. I really do. And I want you guys to let me know what you're thinking in the comments. I want you guys to leave below what you're learning so far. What have you learned so far about this team? Is there anything that you feel you can take from this year and bring it to next year and say, I'm excited to see this continue to grow? Because right now, outside of the offensive line and maybe the wide receivers, I've got nothing. I mean, I want Jalen Hurts to be good. I want him to succeed, but I don't feel like we're putting him in the positions to do so. So is he going to do it without the help? Probably not. It is what it is. So I don't know. I don't know what the bar is. I don't know what parameter they're trying to measure, Jalen Hurts' success on, or what his talents could be with the offense they're giving him. Are they trying to figure out, can he beat Aaron Rodgers? Because I'm pretty sure he can't. Pretty sure that's not who he is. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who they want him to be or who they see him as, but they got to figure something out. So my main, in conclusion, I guess, is we have to learn something soon. Start changing it up. Start making some plays that put your players in uncomfortable positions, because right now you're just putting them in the same positions. I'd rather see us fail at something new than continuously hit our head against the same brick wall all season. So that's where I am. Again, like I said, you guys let me know in the comments, what are you learning about this season so far? What have you learned about this team so far that you're looking forward to for the future of this Philadelphia Eagles? Please, I'm not trying to be negative. I want to be positive. Give me something to be optimistic about. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace!
Everywhere, this is for you.
Fly Eagles Fly, and we on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here cool on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the Jackson like Deshaun, hunting like Randall. Season head, early time to do 'em in. Your boy Philly Fresco, thanks for tuning in.